Hello, YouTube world. It's Kirkpatrick. Thanks for dropping in for another thought of the day. Jeez, it's a crazy world we live in. Crazy world. A lot of people that know me know I'm, I guess, a religious person. I won't rub it in your face. I won't try to convert you. But if you want to have a conversation about it, I'll have that conversation. Yes, I will. Being as I said all that, I'm not affiliated with any church. I'm self-baptized by the blood of Jesus. But I'm not affiliated with any church because I never found one that I thought did the work of Jesus, the hands and feet of Jesus. And Saturday is my day to do nothing but read the Bible, interact with family, be thankful for what I got, read the Bible, and be lazy. I take a lot of naps on Saturday. A lot of thinking naps. Anyhow. But on Sundays, my mother, I'm trying to do this video. I don't want to call out her church, but I take my mother to, she's 96, can't drive no more. Can't hear very well, lost vision in one eye. Gets around good and is sharp as a tack mentally. Man, she was debating Joe Biden, she'd tear him up. Just a little political humor there, folks. Don't get bent out of shape. So I load her and Spud, the dog, up. Take her to church, let her out. She gets there about an hour early. She doesn't do Sunday school classes. She's taught them at one time. She just likes to interact with the people there. That's her week, really, in nutshells. That's where she sees her friends. She doesn't see her friends here at home. She sees her friends there. And some of them get together from time to time, go out and eat a little lunch or something. And it's cool. So I drop her off, a little after 10, and I pick her up right around 12 o'clock. Now the preacher they got right now, I give him one thing. He gets through around 12 o'clock. The one had before that, you don't know if he'd go on to 12:15 or 12:30. Anyway, so I get there at 12 o'clock, park in that little area, and we call my mama Granny. Granny comes out, she's not one of the first people to come out, but, He comes out, get in the car, we go home. We ride through town, check things out. It's kind of fun. She likes to ride. She don't get out much, so she wants to go across the river or whatever. We'll ride around for a little while. Spud loves it. I love it. Spending time with my two favorite people. Well, Spud is a person. You all just don't know that. But the other day I got there and everybody was coming out and Granny wasn't coming out. Waited. Granny wasn't coming out. I said, something ain't right, Spud, stay. So I went in the building and looking around and I seen Granny. She was in a long conversation with a feller that had just lost his wife. And what's kind of sad is that fella passed away 3 days later. I don't know if y'all have ever noticed that. Just a quick, I had a neighbor over here, her husband died, and within 6 months she died. when my daddy died, the guy at the funeral home said, look, the next year is most important. Because I've seen it so many times, you know. Keep your mama active, keep her involved. And we had, mama's, you know, she's still kicking, so. Daddy died in 2011, so. But I've seen it so many times. One dies and the other one dies right behind. Anyway, that's getting off subject. So I seen her over there talking to that feller. The preacher saw me. He come marching over there and he said, hey, you're my mother's name is Hazel. You're Hazel's son. You're the one who brings her back and forth to church. Yes, I am. Well, why don't you come join us? And said, if you really want to know, so hang on a minute. Oh, sponsor today's video. Rocky Point Cabins. Yep. Sulphur, Oklahoma. If you're ever out that way, don't buy a motel room. This is just as cheap as a motel room. You got a whole cabin. You can cook, do whatever you want to do. Yeah, look. Oh yeah, this hat right here too. Bet you ain't got one of them. Anyhow, enough of bragging. I said, here's my card. Call me. I'll be glad to talk to you. I said, but we kind of got to run today. He said, okay. And I got my mother. We went on out the door. I mentioned it. The preacher said something. She said, I just had to talk to Mr. Jerry. You know, he just lost his wife. And all. I said, I understand, Mama. But I was kind of worried. Maybe something happened, so I was come checking on you. He said, that's fine. We rode around town in this little area there on Washington Street. Got a little strip, and there's a fig tree right there. In the middle of the street there. And I said, Mom, look at that fig tree. It's got figs on it. It does. She can't see. Yeah, so I did a lap, come back. Picked about a pint worth of figs. Yeah, kind of cool. Anyhow, a couple of days rocked along, and I got a call from the preacher. Said, hey, yeah, this is, preacher at the church. Yeah. He said, yeah, I want to talk to you about coming to church. You said to give you a call, so let's talk. So I appreciate it, preacher. I appreciate you calling me. Said I'd rather meet eye to eye to have this conversation. If you got time. I said, yeah. Yeah. I'm at the church right now. He said, okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. So I got to church, went into his office. And I looked around his office. Boy, there's all kind of accolades and this and that. He said, well, what's it going to take to get you to come to church? I said, well, let me tell you my opinion of this church. And the way I perceive it, and if it hurts your feelings, I don't want you to interrupt me while I talk. But when I get done, you're welcome. Well, I could heat both. I'm in his office now. I'm in his territory. I'm on his ground. But let me tell you, when you're fighting a war, you fight it. It don't matter where you're at. He said, okay, go ahead. I said, all right. Tell you what I see here. I see less than 100 people in this church every Sunday, which will hold 500 people. It's huge. Got a balcony too. So I see less than 100 people here. And quite frankly, I don't know the percentage of them. But I'm going to guess 80% of them are over 80 years old. There's very little youth here. This is somebody's grandkid. There's very little adolescence here. This is somebody's teenage grandkid. There's very few young couples here. As a matter of fact, I think I saw one young couple the last time I was here. I said, you got all these people, and I know these old people here, that's money. They're tithing every month, they're keeping this church afloat. I said, I looked it up, you're making $108,000 a year, get a car allowance and get a house allowance. And what are you doing? You're preaching one Sunday, one Wednesday night, and if a member gets sick, you may make a phone call. When was the last time you went to the person's house? I said, but stop. I'm not throwing the first stone. I'm not trying to judge. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing and what I'm perceiving. Seeing and perceiving. You know. And I said, what are you doing for the community? God wants us to help those that are less fortunate. I don't see you being the hand and feet of Jesus. And boy, he backed up in that chair. And, well, what do you think I need to do? And I said, remember I asked you not to speak until I got done. Boy, he bowed up. Man, I thought I was going to get kicked out of his office. Go ahead there, big boy, he said. This old southern preacher. He's had 3 wives, but shh, don't tell nobody. And I said, well, you got all these old people giving you all this money. Yeah, you're entertaining them on a Sunday. And I've noticed now that y'all brought in some, you know, what I call unconventional stuff, but it's cool. You brought in some guitars, drums. Choir's gotten a whole lot better, my mama says. Probably because she's got them hearing aids and she can hear them now, but don't really know. I said, but you're not doing anything for the community that I know of. And ain't that what we're supposed to do? Help one another? And I said, I'll go ahead and stop right now just a minute. And I said, you asked me a question, and I'm going to go ahead and answer it. You said, what do you think I'll be doing with the church? If it was my church, what would I do? Well, if it was my church, first thing I'd do is figure out how to get the youth in here. Second thing I'd do is start helping the community. Would you be opposed to me coming down here every Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever day, and cooking a meal for homeless people? For homeless people? Yeah. You know. No, we can't turn this into no food bank or that. No, our kitchen couldn't handle that. I said, it's funny how your kitchen handled cooking a meal for everybody that came to my daddy's funeral. There was probably 500 people coming to that thing. Y'all fed everybody then. Why can't we take some of this money? Well, we just don't have that extra money to expend. I said, I know. Y'all don't. You're making $108,000, got a house allowance, a car allowance. The music guy's getting $90,000. The assistant pastor's getting $80,000. And you got 3 other people on staff all making over $50,000 just to keep the books. It's all public record. I said, y'all need to, here again, I don't want to cast the first stone, preacher, but step back just a minute and look at yourself and what your church is doing. Your church is doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. But taking all these old people's money, and they're dying off. Pretty soon that money gonna dry up. What you gonna do then, buddy? Y'all taking all this money, making all these big salaries, and they ain't doing jack squat for the community. So that's why I don't come to this church. And I just asked you about doing something, a project that I would pay for. I'd buy the food. I'd find the labor and pay for it. If you just let me use your church to feed the homeless. We don't have a big homeless problem here, but I guarantee I could round up 20 people real quick and feed them and talk to them. Try to help them. But no, we can't have them kind of undesirables in the church here. So, I'm not going to spoil it for Mama. She only has a granny, we call her. She only has a few more years left. And I'll do everything in my power to make sure these last years are as enjoyable as they can be for her. But, do you have a church? And if you do, what are they doing? If you don't have a church, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. All right, guys. Man, that may have been a little deep, but I got to get going here. Yeah, I got to get to work. Love y'all. Thanks for stopping in for the thought of the day. And the thought of the day is, do you have a church, and what is it doing to help be the hands and feet of Jesus? All right. Walk with Jesus. We love y'all. Adios.